right, well, it's a little after 6:30, so we'll go ahead and get started. I know everyone's got some things to do tonight. We do have a quorum, it looks like, so we can go ahead and have our meeting. Welcome to the August meeting of the Greenbrier County Republican Club. Glad that you all can make it out to out tonight and spend some time with us. We have several new folks in the room, so I thought I would take a moment and ask them to introduce themselves. So, well, why don't we start up here with this couple?
I'm Joel Nicholson.
Okay, welcome. And we got some.
Tell us the name again.
Oh, you
Tom
speak up.
Joellen.
Thomas, okay. Did you sign in?
No, we haven't.
Okay.
We'll get
We'll go ahead and get that for you. Yes, sir.
Robert Holland, I go by Trey. Moved down here about 3 years ago, and now this is my location. I felt like I wanted to get active, so
Excellent. Robert, we're glad to have
thanks for having me.
you.
Trump must have lit a fire under you.
That fire got lit up
Did you say?
about 2 cycles back.
Did you say?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's see, Maggie, you're. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Have you been before? Have you been with us? Yeah, I thought you had.
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect. Maggie.
I'm Maggie. It's the Hyper Foster. I have been in West
You want
Virginia
to pray
for 28 years.
You want to pray?
I have two boys. One was born in New York and one was born right here in Beckley. And I'm very glad to belong to the
Welcome. Thank you. I'm going to ask Vince to lead us in our invocations. Brent's not feeling well this evening, so our chaplain is absent. So I'm sorry to throw that at you last second.
You can stand if you want. Let's pray. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for the time that you've allotted here this evening to bring us together. Heavenly Father, we're concerned and we're looking for your direction and for godly direction and discernment as we go through the political process. We are a Christian country. We're founded upon Christian principles. Now we know how important it is to stand upon those Christian Republican values, and may we be encouraged and strengthened, knowing that we have the most appropriate candidates that are running, and may we get behind them and support them and encourage them. But Heavenly Father, help us always be mindful of you and help us remain focused upon you in each and everything that we do. Which in Jesus' precious name we do pray. Amen.
Thank you. If you remain standing, we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance very quickly. All right, if you repeat after me, I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please take your seats.
I would remind you that several years ago, they made it that if you're a veteran, it's proper to salute when you say the Pledge of Allegiance to. So if you see somebody, he's not an idiot or a nut. He's
I'm a veteran. I probably count for all three, I guess, right? All right, so with that, we'll move into some reports. Allie, are you ready for?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so Allie's going to give the treasury report.
Our balance is $8,443.50. I've spent $93.10 in candy for the booth, but Sue Spicer has agreed to do an in-kind contribution for $100, but we've not received it yet. I wrote a check for $500 for a holiday, and that's where we're at.
Very good, very good. So we are positioned well. Any questions for Allie before we move on?
yeah. Didn't Doug Beard contribute his leftover money from his campaign?
I don't have a check yet,
Okay.
so I'm not going to count that yet.
Okay.
Okay, very good.
Yes, he did. He is offering to give his final campaign money to the club.
Well, I sent him a thank you. So.
Well, you jumped the gun, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Any questions for Allie? So we are in a good place financially. Doug, we did send a delegate some money last month.
They both got $1,000.
So we did. Yeah, I missed the last meeting. So again, we have a nice balance, and we did recognize our two delegate candidates who have some competition for their races. So we'll put us in a position.
Didn't pass.
Sorry.
The motion we talked about was presented as the motion, so that made it.
Good. Excellent. All right. So we'll come back in the after the fair and talk about yet another opportunity to recognize some of those people financially. With that, we want to be sensitive to people's time and make sure we're allowing people to ask questions and all that. So we've asked Vince Deeds to come in tonight, who's our senator. Vince was also a delegate at the RNC up in Milwaukee a few weeks ago. And I thought it'd be nice to hear, what it was like on the ground. I'm sure all of us got a chance to watch it on TV, but it's something like being there, and Ben was as well. If you didn't see Ben on Fox, you missed a great opportunity there. But so we have two gentlemen here that were at the convention. But we did ask Vince to come in and say a few words on his experience. And Ben, if you want to add any color, that'd be great.
Well, and thank y'all for having me this evening, really. And I'm excited to say that really you can see there's a lot of things that have happened in the past few weeks. I mean, historic things that have happened in the past few weeks. And, we, as we were traveling we left. There's me and Ruby Phillips, another senator from down Logan County, and I actually, my counterpart here in our district, Jack David Woodrum, we were the three senators that went. And I was riding with Ruby on Saturday, going down the interstate, and of course we all heard, on the radio, about what was going on. And of course, there's some confusion really on what had actually happened there in Butler, Pennsylvania. And then, of course, all of our families were concerned about the safety and security, and just really what would the convention be? I'd been blessed to have an opportunity in 2016 to have a state police delegation at the 16 convention and in Cleveland. So I'd been around the convention before in a completely different capacity. But this convention was absolutely the most God-honoring, really just patriotic, motivational experience that I've really ever had in my adult life. I mean, it was a really good event, and we had West Virginia had a perfect place just right off to the right hand corner of the stage, and of course that's how come Ben was on TV about every other night and everything. My wife asked me why I wasn't on TV so much. It's because Ben was knocking me out of the way. No, we really did. I mean, they took really good care of the West Virginia delegation, and very good. The Morrissey family did a fantastic job taking care of us, and I mean, we all just had a really good week. And the platform, there's of course discussion about the political platform that we would have and voted upon and everything, and it's a really concise. It's not as big as some of the previous platforms as far as the number of words or documents that are attached to it, but it's really concise and a really good solid platform that we know it's got all Republican values in it that are really the bedrock of our party. And so it was a really tremendous experience. We to get there, we had to they bussed us in every day, and because we stayed actually in Madison. We didn't stay right in Milwaukee. So Madison's about an hour away, and that was a good thing. We stayed in a really nice place, a very, very nice place, and we just had a lot of good fellowship with all the delegation from West Virginia. Spent a lot of time with each other and got to know each other. The other delegations are fantastic too. It was really just a fantastic experience. Really encouraging, really motivating for me and anybody that went there. There was, there's so much energy and so much dedication now, in our party, and we still have to keep it up. That's, and as fast as the news cycle goes, it's hard for us to stay on top of everything. But we have the one true presidential candidate that is absolutely, he will be a great leader. We already know that. We just got to get him back where he belongs. And then with J.D. Vance. I mean, J.D. Vance is, he truly is he's part of the American dream. I mean, he truly is. You know, you follow his story. I mean, he truly is an outstanding individual. So we, and I think it'll have, of course, his cabinet would have some really serious depth to it. I really can't think of anything, you know, if you had to ask me, well, what, is there anything that you would do different? I mean, not really. I mean, there's not a thing I'd do different. I was really honored to go, and, really, I think it's a good time, best time, really, to be a Republican, and especially being West Virginia. We've got our candidates, whether it's, you know, whether it's presidential or of course, our governor, you know, he's running strong, and you know, so there's a lot of really great benefits to being in West Virginia right now. So that's kind of my point of view, and you may have some questions, and I can talk about other things too if you have any questions about any other topics. So, yes, ma'am.
I thought the interview was fantastic, and I was just watching it on TV.
Right.
Don't you think?
Absolutely.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
The president spoke amazing, and the vice president also.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I always watch these kind of things because, you know, we all speak out in public all the time, so you kind of wonder, you know, how much of it is, how much is, you know, scripted. You know, if they work off a script or not. I tell you what, you could see around the Coliseum the teleprompters if they used them. Of course, Trump doesn't use one, and neither does I tell you, one of the best speeches I thought personally too was Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
And Tucker Carlson talked. It was completely off his heart.
Yes.
I mean, completely. And I think, I mean, of course, you know, anybody that's been in law enforcement as long as I was, or people that have been in the military and been in certain circumstances, if you have a near-death experience, it does change you. I mean, you know, and I think it's really, and you could feel that. I don't know any other way to explain it except you could feel it. And there's a lot of just heartfelt, pure, truthful statements about everybody that was there, and anytime that you can go from Hulk Hogan to Franklin Graham to Kid Rock, you got about everybody covered. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's something for everybody, pretty much. And it just had it had energy all week. I lost my voice about 2 or I'm still a little weak actually, but because you know it's just such a good time. And exciting time to be a Republican. And so, but it comes down to us here at home. It really does. I mean, it comes down to us here at home staying energized and staying engaged in all the party events at the local level, because all good politics, all good government starts at the local level. And so that's just kind of my challenge to everybody: stay engaged and encouraged. Yes, ma'am.
One of the speakers affected me very deeply. She was a woman from somewhere in the South, I think. I can't remember what her name was. She was speaking about the schools.
Right.
And the education and the disaster
Right.
that we are now completely engulfed in,
Right.
including right here in this county.
Right.
By the left having total control over everything
Right.
that is going on, and that is it's horrible.
Right.
And one of the side effects of that, I'm not sure that she mentioned this, but one of the side effects is that teachers are completely and totally disheartened,
Yes.
and they're quitting,
Yes, they are. And
because there's no point.
yeah, and I tell you, you know, now I can kind of speak to that just a little bit on the state level. One thing that we did, and how disheartened a lot of teachers have been, because they felt like that they had no voice. You know, if they wanted to, and we had to list it as intelligent design, or it's creationism. If they felt like a child brought up a question about evolution or brought up a question about creation, that they couldn't answer it, okay, because they was afraid that they'd be censored within the school system. statewide. This is statewide. And so one thing that we did pass, and it's effective law now, is that teachers can talk about intelligent design, which is creationism ultimately, and they can without any kind of repercussions and everything, because they're teachers. They felt like if they had no control over their classroom, they'd try to the troublemakers or the ones that they were having trouble with. If they'd set them out of class, they'd be right back in, and the principals wouldn't back them up.
Right.
And we did give the teachers some more authority in that aspect.
We had that right here in Greenbrier County.
It is. It's tough.
Restorative justice, they call it.
Yeah.
Have you read the book by Luke Rosiak? It's called Race to the Bottom.
I don't believe
If
so.
you haven't, you should.
Yeah.
It explains how in the world all of this has come to pass in the
Right.
last 60, 70 years.
Right.
It's
Right.
been going on a long time.
It has. It has. And
We didn't know it.
Absolutely, and I think you're exactly right, and I think that's why it's so important for us to now try to turn the ship the other way, and it will take time. I mean, I wish it could be almost like an overnight success, but it will take time, and in each system that we have, in each government system, needs almost a minor reset, as far as a readjustment to try to turn the tide back to where it
You
needs to be.
hold the biggest cudgel, money.
Yeah, I know.
If school districts like ours are adopting all of these policies,
Right,
all you need to do is call them up and say, well, good luck, because we're
Right.
not sending you another dime.
right.
And that's got to
I'll
happen.
tell you something that will help us on the federal level, okay? Because I tell you, there was a big shift. And most of y'all, unless you work in the school system, you may not have noticed it, or I think you've heard about it, but not really realized what happened. As soon as the Biden administration took over, there's a lot of Title IX federal money that comes through Title IX. And with that money comes obligations, and that's another subject. I think we're way too dependent on federal money, but in there, these issues, whether it be with transgender or bathroom access for transgender and stuff, it's been on the books, okay? But it hadn't been pushed out until the Biden administration took over. I think there will be. I know there will be. There'll be a shift back to more conservative values on that whenever Trump's in there, because he ran it completely different, and there'll be a lot of things. I mean, I know he emphasizes the border a lot, and that is absolutely one. If not the most, the economy and the border are the two most important things. And West Virginia will benefit from the economic value and the border restrictions that he'll put into place. Because we have to have secure borders, we got to have a strong economy, and we literally are standing in West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio. We are standing on all the natural resources that we need to be energy independent. And we were right before this switch, so that's all exciting stuff, really exciting stuff that I can see that will affect it, but it will take. I wish I could say this time next year, we'd be all sunshine and puppies. I think we'll be really excited, but we'll still have more work to do, and it'll get there. It'll get there. Because keep in mind, it's a lot easier to destroy something than it is to build it up. Probably.
Yes.
Since y'all passed a bill that would not allow them to expend Medicaid funds on transgender surgery. And just a couple of days ago, a federal district court found that was unconstitutional.
Right.
And Morrissey's argument to them was that there was only X amount of dollars available.
Right.
And if you spend a lot of it on that, there won't be people with other more severe problems that will not get treated. And
Right.
do you anticipate, he and 16 other attorneys general have filed an appeal.
Right.
You You think the legislature will at least pass a resolution supporting him in that?
Oh, I'm confident in that, because that was really important for us, as a body in the Senate and the House. It was a really important issue for us. That's why it pretty much sailed right through. And then, of course, currently Attorney General, of course, he did a really good job defending it, and is actively appealing it. I think that we'll at least do a resolution. If not, if it looks like it's going to stall out, or if some way the Supreme Court thinks that there is an unconstitutional element to it, we don't think that there is. And I don't think that the Supreme Court will think that there's an unconstitutional element to it. I think the Supreme Court will uphold it, but, reinstate it, I should say. But the one thing that we have to do is we will, and if there's an element in there that for some reason the U.S. Supreme Court has issue with, we'll tweak that and turn it back around and give it another run, because that is so important. Medicaid funding, medical funding, period, is a limited resource, and there's no reason for us to dedicate funding for that for optional surgeries like that. So that's just not. We got to take care of the people that are literally sick. That have serious health issues first. I think, and I really believe that. I know the body, both chambers believe that too. That's a good question.
Any other questions for Vince?
In regards to the Greenbrier Resort,
Right.
the Greenbrier is supposed to be auctioned off later this month towards the end of August. What is your take with the whole situation involving the Greenbrier and people who are concerned about losing their jobs?
Every business goes through financial difficulties. So I mean, that's nothing unusual for businesses to go through that. I think we need, before we get overly concerned, just let it work through that process. Because historically, what happens is it automatically goes into negotiations, and there's negotiations made and had and resolved. So I think it's too early to be concerned about people losing their jobs.
What portion of the employees there are green card holders rather than Greenbrier County residents?
Yeah, that's a good question, but I don't have the answer for that. I really don't. I could ask that later and find out, but I don't know that right now.
It's the county's largest employer of actual citizens, though.
Is that right? I would think that it is.
More than
Let me brag a little bit on the Greenbrier, just a little bit on this aspect, because it is. It does employ a majority of our county employees, and regionally. I tell you what, right after, another reason why I keep losing my voice, right after the RNC, we had what was called the Southern Leadership Southern Legislative Conference at the Greenbrier. Okay, now it's 15 states. Okay, it's from Virginia to Texas to Oklahoma to Florida. Okay, really good states. Okay, really good overall, really conservative states. We had all of them at the Greenbrier, and that's why you couldn't get a hotel room within ages. President Blair of the Senate was really involved in bringing that to West Virginia and hosting that to Greenbrier. And I've been to this same conference in Charleston, South Carolina last year. The good thing about it is being hosted over here, the people that wide variety. I mean, again, Cowboys from Oklahoma, and I mean, Sunshiners from Florida, Texas, and I mean, wide variety of people. They absolutely love the Greenbrier in this region of West Virginia better than they had anyplace else. And the people that worked hard over there and decorated and really made that place shine, really, I mean, I've never seen the Greenbrier look that good. And so West Virginia gets a lot of good advertising, you know, by doing that. And I do want to kind of really thank the Senate staff and all the volunteers that really helped put that on. We had 90 plus volunteers that helped put that on. And that was a really good thing for West Virginia. West Virginia is known throughout the region and really actually throughout the country to being absolutely, we don't have the biggest budget, you know, we don't have the biggest population, but we have a lot of good aspects. We're small enough to be nimble, and that way we can change direction fairly quick as far as government goes, and we work well with each other, whether it's the executive branch, whether it's in the Senate leadership or the House leadership, and with all the different, you know, constitutional officers. We move really quickly. So if a business or any entity has, you know, maybe there's an issue that develops, and you know, we can adjust and meet with those individuals. And you have all the leadership from the executive, you know, the governor's office, the Senate leadership, House leadership, and the universities will come in and meet with them and try to get where we need to be legislatively if we need to be, or try to say, hey, we've got this great place. You know, that's how we got Nucor, you know, around Point Pleasant, and a lot of the other business, Berkshire Hathaway. You know, that's a good thing, and I just want you to know that we have a really unique opportunity to really be the shining star here in our region. And I think we are. I think we're working. So, thank you.
Any other questions? We appreciate Vince for taking time out of the day. Ben, I don't want to put you on the spot, but you were also at the RNC. Any additions or updates that you want to share? You signed some autographs for the cameo on the lot?
Fear the beard.
Yeah, fear the beard. I will say, I'm so thankful that Vince Deeds drove up because everybody's flights got canceled because of the CrowdStrike tech issue. And so we just hitched a ride in with Vince back, so that worked out really well. No, it was one of those once in a lifetime experiences. It really was. If anybody ever has the opportunity to go to one of those conventions, go. Because it's something that will touch your soul. When you're in a room with that many hot-blooded red Americans, I mean, it just makes you want to fly on a bald eagle and shoot fireworks up in the sky. But you get to meet a lot of people just around the ring, around the arena, just walking outside and walking. You know, I was just walking in front of the stadium, and there's the My Pillow man, Mike Lindell, and then there's Mitch McConnell, there's John Kennedy, and just all these different celebrities you see on TV, see on Fox News being interviewed, getting to actually see them in person. I mean, it's kind of fun to say, wow, they're a lot taller in person. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun for people to experience. I'm glad we got to be a part of it.
Well, thank you for sharing that. We appreciate that. Vince, we're going to conduct some club business. You're more than welcome to stay, or if you've got a pressing need to duck out, you're more than welcome to do that.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Okay. We are going to talk about some old business.
He is a member.
Well, I know he's a member. I'm trying to be respectful of her. All right.
I know, I appreciate that. Thank you. We need him for the quorum.
What? They showed up. We're good. Hey, we're going to talk about some old business, and our old business this evening is the fair begins next Thursday, and so Doug is going to act in Prince's stead tonight and kind of take us through our plans and the administrative needs we have for the fair. So with that, I'll turn it over to Doug and let him carry the water on the fair.
Well, Brent's has been doing a lot of work on it, looking for people to volunteer, and we've got all our spots filled. And he's rewritten some of the instructions from last year, and we will be mailing the list of instructions. Our hearing aids are working too well, huh? We will be mailing the instructions to you. They'll also be there available in the book. And one of the things we want to do is to push club membership and obtaining contact information from people who do the booth. And Gordon wanted us to be sure that we don't just give away handfuls of the Trump $100 bills. They should be handed out singly, or maybe when there's a group there, each one get one. But suggest that they might want to make a contribution to the club. Allie has designed some good boxes, put contributions in. And one thing that you may wonder about his instructions on getting your name tags is to print them on your right side. And when I was president of the West Virginia State Medical Association, they paid a lot of money to send me to a campaign school that was a week. And the first thing they said is pin your name on the right side, because when people shake hands with you, they have to see it. So that's why those specific instructions, there are reasons for all the specific instructions there. But we have our volunteers pretty well lined up. And everybody's going to get a copy of these. If they weren't here and have their tickets, we've got the envelope prepared to send them a copy of the instructions. The instructions will be available there, and please be sure that we record every dollar that is donated there. Ben can tell you the state likes to see not just every dollar, every nickel accounted for like that. So we will do that, and we have some trifolds about the club, explaining the club and its purpose, and part of it is a registration card that they can tear off and mail in with their money to join the club. So we did spend some money on our tickets for it, and we've got all our pictures and captions for the booth are at FirstNet to be picked up tomorrow, and they assured me they'll have our brochures tomorrow. And the brochures will be something that we can mail out to people who have been members in the past, who for one reason or another have not rejoined the club. So they'll be useful for that. And they'll be there if you have people you know who want to know a little more about the club, then you can explain in a brief visit to the booth. Those will be available to give them. So do we have any questions about the booth? And we're going to try to set it up on Wednesday at noon. We found that we had trouble contacting the Beckley Arts Center. That backdrop that we used was one that Rose Dobbins had used in her art business. She was a member of the Beckley Arts Center, and when she decided to close her business and move, she donated it to them. And they have been gracious enough to offer to let us use it every year. And this year, the Arts Center is closed due to lack of funds and lack of volunteers. But there are some young kids that teach music and got a band that are in the basement of the Arts Center. And we finally drove over and met with them, and we'll be picking that up on Tuesday.
Okay, good.
So we're pretty well set.
Maybe you better keep it.
Do what?
Maybe you better keep it.
Well, we tried to buy it from them once, and they weren't interested in selling it, because when they have exhibits, that they can just about double their exhibition size with those. So we have any questions about it? If you're working there, you will be getting your thing in the mail.
Will you be able to take funds there for registration of joining the club?
Oh, yeah.
also?
Yeah, that's included in the things.
Okay.
Yeah, and if somebody wants to buy a membership, you just write on the back paid and put that down on as the amount on the money sheet. We'll be taking registrations for the memberships for the club for 2024 up until the September meeting. And after that, registrations will be put toward the 2025 membership. So, you'll be getting a notice to renew in, September. Any other questions? Thomas?
What day will the fair booth be set up and what time?
We'll be setting it up at noon on Wednesday, the 16th.
Okay.
Usually takes just a couple of, maybe 3 hours to do it. Any other questions? Okay.
I would just say, if you are signed up for a shift and you have not gotten your tickets, see Doug tonight, he has your tickets for you, so please get those while they are here. The only thing I would add from a little color perspective, it is an election year, you may have heard. Last year the fair was a little soft. There were a lot of people interested but not very excited, frankly, in my opinion. I think we're in a whole different audience this year. I think people are going to be really excited. You heard Senator Deeds' comments about how the world has changed over the last few weeks. All those people are coming to the fair, and they will. We have found during election years and in past that they are very sympathetic to what we're doing in the booth. And we have Trump cut out, we have the Bucks. They're very excited. So it's a great engagement experience if you've not worked the booth before. It can be you can be put off a little bit, but people are very excited, very aggressive about wanting their picture taken and want to tell you their story. So it's a lot of fun. So enjoy your time there. It's a lot of fun to engage those people. Kind of alter to what Doug said, most of the people are not from Greenbrier County who you end up talking to. They're from all over the place. So, club membership may be of interest, may not, but I think it's a good thing to sponsor and offer that to people, because we do get people to join just to make a donation to the Republican cause. So those are all good things to think about. Again, the instructions are going to be on the table in the booth, as well as you're going to get a hard copy.
If you see people from Virginia, give them the really hard sell, because they need it a lot more than the people from West Virginia. Yeah. And locally, we still have our sheriff candidate is still unopposed, and our candidate for county commission, who's incumbent, Tammy Tentry, is still unopposed. But Brad Tuckwiller has filed to run against Richie Holiday. So that's what Allie is giving Danny. We've gotten some contributions for his thing. Richie has been really active. He's been every parade, and I think he won the prize for the best float in every parade. So he probably needs some contributions by this time.
And the club I have one right here from the club, so we'll take care of that next week. But anyway, enjoy the fair, have a lot of fun. Be prepared to talk to a lot of people and engage them and hear their stories and let them take their pictures and get excited. I am passionate about the Trump bucks. They are not free. So I bought 1,000 of them last week. They cost me $166 or something like that. So they're certainly available for people, but we can't just give out stacks and stacks of them. So be a little judicious about it.
We have about 2/3 of that many.
We think we're going in the fair with about 3,500.
Are you going to divide them up in, so many per day?
I did that last year. I'm not sure that was.
I think that works.
Did it work?
It might have
Okay.
been, people think they had to have them all out.
As part of the instructions, we've kind of reinforced that message that we don't handle out big stacks. We'll take a look at that. I'll divide them up.
People don't read those instructions.
I understand. It's gotten a lot better. The first year we had some issues with managing that. It's gotten a lot better. Okay. Any other questions on the fair? Once, twice. Okay. New business. That said, I think Doug announced last month, but I want to reinforce that we have a great opportunity in front of us. We are very, very blessed by one of our members is a sporting club resident. And Steve Hart has stepped up and said he would be happy to host this meeting in September at the sporting club. So we're very excited about that. We're going to have on the September 6th, our normal meeting time. Instead of meeting here or somewhere else, we will be at the sporting club. Yes, ma'am.
The 5th.
Is it the 5th?
Yeah.
All right.
I hope so.
The first Thursday.
At the lodge.
Right. So, Doug, you've got some details to share, right, on the 5th.
Yeah. We're going to be sending out a mailing next week to people about it, kind of a save the date. And we're going to be hitting it hard in the newspaper because We've didn't have a very good response from any of our federal officials, but the new chairman of the West Virginia GOP was really pleased to be asked to come to speak to us about that. And he's going to be speaking about his experience as the leader of our delegation to the RNC, to the about the upcoming election, and what his plans are for the remaining 4 years of his tenure as the chairman. So he's a really upbeat guy, and I think people will enjoy meeting him and be impressed that we've got a real leader in front of us for the next couple of elections.
He is Matt Heritage.
Matt Heritage, Herridge. He has a very varied background in business, and he has worked as a psychologist in the past. So he's got a varied background of experiences to deal with the chairmanship of the West Virginia GOP. I think people will enjoy seeing it.
Yep. So please, keep the 5th open. We look forward to having you and a lot of your friends come out and enjoy some fellowship out at the Lodge Sporting Club. It's going to be a great event. We certainly will thank Steve for donating that experience for us. Come meet Matt.
No.
Yes.
No.
No? I don't know.
When you go past Cook's Country Restaurant, it's the first gate on your right, and it's sometimes they have guards there, and sometimes they don't. You just turn in there and you keep going straight for probably 15 blocks. You hit the lodge.
Just wanted to clarify which place it was.
What time is it gonna be?
6:30, our usual meeting
A
time.
normal meeting time, but different location this time, so it's going to be kind of exciting. Any other questions on the 5th?
And that's the day we expect everybody to renew their membership as well.
Yep, that was my next point. Yep. So, but per our bylaws, and I'll talk about items for the good of the club, which is my next topic. The 5th would be our opportunity to close membership for the year. So we'd like to have people have their memberships paid up. That has ramifications as we go into the fall of this year, as we think about elections this year. So, you need to be a member in good standing. Club elections. Club elections will be this year, the election year for the club. We have a number of officer vacancies, and so if you're interested in serving, there's a good opportunity for that. Yes, sir.
What is the current definition of member in good standing?
Basically, if your dues are paid. Yep.
Thank you.
So we're gonna use the 5th as sort of a focal point to drive some membership. Come to the lodge, come to the Greenbrier, join the club, renew your membership, whatever. Then we'll close membership for the year at the end of that meeting, and then that'll take us into the fall for bylaws perspective. The other item I have for the good of the club is we are we are endeavoring to get you all a seat at the Reagan movie when it comes to a theater near you, which would be across the street. That will open up on the 30th of August, and we are told that we should know by the mid-month when and if it is coming to the cinema here in Lewisburg. We'll get back to you all on that. We are looking to have a nice event out there, and that'll be a joint event with all the entities in town. So it'll be kind of a Republican night at the movies. It'll be probably sometime in September. So it is right now debuting in Beckley on the 30th. So we'll probably be a little bit later than that. So as soon as we have a date, and we confirm a date for you all, we'll get that out on the calendar so y'all can think about joining us for the movie.
You can make reservations for a group, and they do honor the usual rates as far as the senior citizen rates.
And we are going to do that. We are going to get a block of seats, and so we're going to, Ben's folks, Denise Morrissey's folks, all the Republican and conservative groups in the county will be able to partake in that. And it should be a lot of fun. Get to see that movie and see some folks you haven't seen in a while. So some dates to remember, a couple things to talk about that are occurring. We did talk about the 5th. I think everyone was good about the 5th on the backside. So again, Sporting Club, put that on your calendar. We'll put some of this out in an email here the next week or so you all can put that on your calendar. I'm told by a couple people that we will have a headquarters building down in Fairleigh on the 24th.
2 headquarters.
Right.
There'll
That's
be
the old
one
pharmacy.
Raynell and one Fairway.
And then the other one, did we secure that other one?
Yeah, yes.
So we'll have a couple opportunities to have representation in town and people, a focal point for people to go and that kind of thing. So if you're familiar with the pharmacy in Fairleigh that's closed, that'll be the Republican headquarters for this election cycle.
Fritz's Pharmacy in Fairway.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is that the one next to
Big building
McDonald's
right
and?
at the intersection. It's great.
Room there, wasn't
Oh,
Yeah, it's gonna be a good place for
All this building.
yes.
That's what I told Miller's, they should contact you about that, because it's nice to have a central place where people can come and pick up the signs they want.
Yeah, it's a great location. It's got a lot of positive. So that'll be opening on the 24th. I'm sure Ben
You
will have
would be
some
very surprised how many people show up to Raynell.
What's the location there?
Oh, yeah. Well, and the Fayette County people too. Pardon?
It must have been good, the sign is still up.
Yeah, the sign is still up. That'll be there for eternity.
Same location.
No, different location. This will be the same building as, this is gonna sound tough, Bad Boys Bail Bonds.
Not that I'm using.
Now that you've used it.
That's right. All right, so the next one that I want you all to think about is September 28th. We are going to have a joint conservative activity, which will be probably another Trump train and then a picnic, which will be out on the September 28th. And so we're going to, again, combine with all the conservative entities in town and pull that thing together. And we think that's going to be a great event. We are going to help sponsor that as a club, as well as executive committee, as well as probably Denise Morrissey's group.
We, in the Monroe County, involved with that.
Oh, Faye, I can't hear you.
Where's the picnic?
Yeah, they have an event going on that day.
That's so sick.
Let me answer this question. So yeah, I'm sorry. Monroe County is supposed to join us for that event as well. So we'll work through that. But Faye, what was your question?
Where's the location for the picnic? Has that been determined?
It was last week, Ben. Have you nailed down?
It'll be on Spring Creek Farm
Okay.
on the border between Greenbrier and Monroe,
Okay.
right there in Second Creek.
Okay.
So where the bridge is, on the left, that whole wide expanse there is Spring Creek Farm, and that's owned by our next state treasurer, Larry Pack, and his son. It's a very, very spacious venue. Very spacious venue.
So we think that's going to be a great event for all of us in the county to come out and participate. We certainly want the club to make representation out there. We can sell memberships to. You never know. There is a Trump train plan for that. Thing I would ask this group is we are looking for a volunteer chair to represent the club in that venue. So if there's somebody has an interest in that in September, please let me know, or I will be making some phone calls to pick somebody. But we'd like to have somebody that would like to step up and take the ownership of that and work in coordination with some of the other entities in town, so we can have a really nice event out there. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun for us. So put the 28th on your calendar and think about a volunteer opportunity. I do need to remind everybody, or at least announce to everybody, that on October 17th, the executive committee will be having their Red Wave dinner, and that's going to be in.
We don't have a venue set yet. That one, we're trying to find something big, but it's the biggest we can find is 250, and that's just for what this election year is going to be. It's just we want to find something larger. The guest speaker will be Jordan Sekulow, who is the head of the ACLJ. He is on Donald Trump's legal team, and he is the son of radio talk show host Jay Sekulow. You may be familiar with him on Fox News a good bit. So keep that date in mind, and we'll let you know a location as soon as we can officially nail one down.
August the 17th?
October 17th.
Oh, okay.
October 17th.
And then,
Question for you.
yes, ma'am.
Would you be interested in Dave Manis when he came and brought his trailer that's got the flag on it? Remember Gordon, when we had Doug, when we had it in the fairground,
Oh,
he's got that trailer and he's got, with the American flag on it, use it as a podium. Would you be interested in him coming and bringing that to the picnic?
I think so.
I can check with him.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, let us know. Well, we're announcing this now, so if you have, things like that come up, if you want to entertain those ideas, those are great ones.
That'd be cool. I love the slingshot thing.
Okay, the last one I have is just before Election Day. We will have yet another Trump train. If you remember the last one several years ago, Ben and I have some memory of that. But that should be a same bad channel, same bad station. We're going to be at the Food Lion in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, and we will travel all the way north and end up in Raynell, probably at the shopping center like we did last time. That draws hundreds and hundreds of people to it, and it was a lot of fun, a lot of work, but it was a great event. And we're going to do another one of those on November 2nd, which is just before Election Day, conveniently enough. So we'll have that out in front of you. I will send an email out to the group in the next week or so, giving you those dates so you don't have to worry about what they or tell you that you need to be where, so you can put that on your calendar. But there should be activities ongoing all throughout the election season, which are going to be fun. And we would encourage you all to participate. I would encourage your friends to participate and come out and celebrate, conservative values, as Vince talked about so eloquently. And that's what these events are all about. And they're different things. The Trump trains bring a different crowd, frankly, than the dinner does. And that's okay. And that's a lot of fun. And the picnic will draw yet a different crowd. And those are all people who care about, this country and this county and the state and conservative movement, and we need to represent them all and celebrate with them, and we certainly intend to do that. So again, just to remind everybody before I move on, we are looking for a volunteer for the picnic, because that's going to take a little bit of work to get through that piece. Although there has been some work done, to be honest, it looks pretty good so far. All right, any other items for the good of the club that we can discuss, talk about?
I have a question for Ben. When will the executive committee have Trump signs available for the public?
By next week.
Okay.
Yes, they will be $5 each.
Any other questions, comments?
Very cheap compared to online. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Again, I'll get the dates out to everybody, so you're not don't have to worry about when my camera's got to be updated and those kind of things. You'll see that probably next week or so from me. I think we're about ready to close. The only thing I would say from a closing comments, and I think certainly Vince hit it pretty well. We were in a whole different place 2 weeks ago than we are today, and it is frankly a scary place. I felt real good coming out of the convention because I watched a lot of it like you all did and felt really fired up about where we were. And then the president dropped and another person came in, and all of a sudden things evened up pretty darn fast in a week. So I would say, this is a great opportunity going into the election cycle to demonstrate our resolve and our commitment to what we believe in as Republicans and conservatives, because gosh darn it, I think the president's going to need it this fall. So please continue to be champions out there and talk up, what we're all about. I think in a, supermajority state like West Virginia, maybe that's not as important, but as you all travel out of state, talk to people, talk to relatives, continue to send that message for us, and I think that matters this fall as we get into what's going to be probably a pretty challenging cycle, it looks like all of a sudden. With that, I'm going to ask our birthday boy, Ron Kirk, to close us with God Bless America.
All right. Go ahead and sing God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains through the prairies, through the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you at the fair.